Am I the butthole for telling my mom you get what you get and you don't throw a fit? First time poster here. Apologies for formatting, on mobile. I, female 24, live with my parents with my kid. I pay my own way in terms of rent and bills, support my kid, work full time. They do not provide for me or my little family. On to the issue. My mom expects dinner to be ready when she gets home. My dad is indifferent. He'll ask if I've planned anything, and if I haven't, he will pick something up on his way. The other night I made tilapia, and the conversation went like this. Mom, what's for dinner? Me, tilapia, tater tots and corn. Mom, I don't like fish. Me, okay. I'm sorry, I thought tilapia was one you did like. Mom, no. I don't like fish. I've never liked fish. Me, okay, noted. Mom, so what are you going to do? Me, nothing. I don't make separate meals for everybody's tastes. At this point my kid is paying attention, and I struggle getting kiddo to eat what I make. I didn't see this going somewhere that would be helpful. Mom, wow, seriously? Me, when we were kids, you did not cater to everybody's taste. You can make something else if you don't want fish. Mom, I worked all day. Me, so did I. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. You are welcome to make a PB&J if you don't like what's served. This is the rule for my kid. Don't like what's being served? Try a bite. Still not a fan? Feel free to make a quick PB&J and join me at the table. Mom, how dare you? Don't you treat me like a child. Me, then stop acting like one. At this point, I left and went to the table to eat with my kid. She tried to follow me and was stopped by my dad. I didn't think I did anything wrong, but she glares at me every time I walk through the house and refuses to talk to me. My dad said he doesn't think I was wrong, but wants me to apologize to keep the peace. I've since stopped making dinner for anybody except my kid, which honestly seems to piss her off even more. Am I the butthole? Edit: since it came up a lot, this is not my parents' house. We rent the home 50-50, and I am on the lease with my father. We both have good reason for the arrangement. My only obligation moving together with them was that I take care of my responsibilities, i.e. kids. Making dinner for them every night was not a condition of the agreement. Not the butthole. You are not keeping the peace if you apologize. Instead, you should have a conversation with your mother about how she is free to share a meal with you, but it will be what you made and not what she thinks should be made. Original poster replies. I like this answer. She actually used to make requests like, hey, I've really been feeling like pasta. If you get a chance to make dinner this week, I'd appreciate a pasta dish. If it's respectful, then I have no issue accommodating that sometimes. I'm not sure where the nosedive into entitlement and demanding things came from. Keeping the peace means to your dad, please pacify your mother, I can't listen to her moan about this anymore. Sometimes people get into funks and they don't see how unreasonable it is until someone puts their foot down. Please pacify your mother, because I have control over you and it's easier for you to submit to her whims and emotional abuse than it is for me to deal with your mother bitching at me. Please do as I say for my sake so I can live comfortably, at the expense of your comfort and the risk of teaching my grandson how not to treat his mother or any woman. I have control over you. Op is on the lease with her dad 50-50, so nobody is controlling anyone. Emotional abuse. Op said that this is out of character. She hasn't always been this way. Things are stressful for everyone right now with the readjustment to work schedules that's currently happening. Op's mom is being a butthole, but this is a bit too far of a leap for the little information we have to go on, at least in my opinion. Unless there is a comment I missed, this kind of seems like a bit of a stretch. So I can live comfortably. Op said their mom is being cold with them too. Maybe the dad is just uncomfortable with the overall tension more than anything directed specifically at him. He is definitely going about it the wrong way 100%, but I can understand his discomfort, especially if this is a somewhat new development as original poster indicated. A reminder though, just because it is done for the first time, does not mean it is not abuse. Oh, for sure. It was just the way it was phrased in the comment is all. At least to me, it read like it was being implied that this is a reoccurring/ongoing issue. That was why I addressed it. Grammar correction. Doesn't abuse require a pattern? People can be unintentionally abusive. Being abused doesn't require a pattern. We talk patterns of abuse in relationships because often people are in too deep before they realize. But we have to watch for people being unintentionally abusive because these are the behaviors that can become habit if they aren't talked about and addressed. Not everyone who does something abusive is a bad person. It can just be a bad choice in a situation that leads to an abusive behavior. We all make mistakes and apologize for our interpersonal F-ups. We're not perfect. Op needs to talk to dad about how she isn't the one who needs to apologize. This is a 50-50 arrangement and mom was out of line. Not the butthole. I think something can be abusive, but you cannot take a single incident and call it abuse any more than you can take a single line and call it a polygon. It's abusive behavior even if it's the first offense. To sugarcoat it is to do everyone involved a disservice. We can be abusive in a situation and resolve it without being an abuser/bad person. It just takes open, honest communication. Edit. Want to come in and clarify: I don't advocate going to a person tactlessly and accusing them of being abusive. Talk about the behavior you didn't like and how it made you feel. Express that you need them to communicate their needs more clearly. Talk to people. By this logic, everyone gets to commit one murder with no consequences. I think your logic might be somewhat faulty. If I kick my child/dog/grandparent/whatever, it's abusive, even if it is the first time. They would feel the hurt and pain the first time just as much as they did the 25th time. Not an expert and open to correction/discussion. Not the butthole. I don't see that comparison as equivalent. Abusive abuse a Ligon line. If something is abusive, the person doing that action may not be a habitual abuser, but the action itself is abuse. It's more like abusive, abuse, line-like, line. Not all lines are part of polygons, but they sure do have all the properties of lines. Also, if I see someone walk up to another person and break one of their bones, I would classify that as assault whether or not that assailant had a pattern of breaking strangers' bones. No abuse doesn't require a pattern. Abuse is abuse the first time it happens. If your spouse slaps you, it's abuse. It doesn't require a slap every day for a week to qualify. This TW, mention of domestic, sexual, and financial abuse. Nope. If you hit your partner once, that is still domestic/physical abuse. If you sexually assault someone, that is still sexual abuse. Stealing money from a person in your care equals financial abuse. Nothing in safeguarding legislation in the UK says it needs to be a pattern of behavior for it to be abuse. So, if my boyfriend beats me to hell and never does it again, it wasn't abuse. Nah. Before her mother's bad behavior has the chance to escalate is exactly the right time for the original poster to put her foot down. The same goes for the op's father. This is a hard time for everyone, and the op's mother should not be allowed to make it even worse for the people she lives with by behaving like a toddler. It's not okay to take out your frustrations on your family, making their lives worse. Bitching about dinner does not equal abuse. Why does Reddit love to throw that word around so much? OMG. Fun linguistic fact. This is called semantic drift. People have a tendency to reach for stronger descriptive words when they feel emotional about something. This is how the word awesome went from meaning something that inspires a deep sense of awe and reverence to something that's kind of neat. I give it a few decades before abuse drifts to mean something that wasn't completely cool to do to someone else, and gaslighting is a synonym for disagreeing. Ahaha, everything on Reddit is gaslighting. You're a hero and a scholar. I think I love you. I don't really see it as that way with the dad. He also seems pretty uncomfortable with what is happening too. Yes, he may not be going the right way with it, but he also wants to solve the issue at hand. The dad shares the lease with Op. He is in no way emo, controlling original poster so he can live comfortably. Though I do agree he should help, I don't see him as controlling. As stated, original poster and their dad are 50-50 on the lease. Both of them should be trying to make a compromise with the mom instead of just original poster. That was one of the most life-changing things I've read on Reddit. Web link. Thanks for sharing that. Never come across it before. It's great. It changed my approach to my wife's family and helped us eventually break free. That would require her to concede, which would have her making dinner nightly to mom's order. Nat. My parents did suggestion box food. Once a month we would be allowed to pick what we wanted as dinner, as long as it was something healthy. You should tell your mother that she can pick a meal once a month and the rest of the time it is not open for discussion. Original poster replies. That is an amazing idea. Thank you. One thing my family did was make menus for the month. Mostly to help food cost. But also everyone knew what was going to be made and everyone got to pick one dish for the amount. It might be worth asking her if something unrelated is going on at a later date. Is she struggling with depression or something else? This doesn't excuse her childish behavior. She's an adult and her working doesn't somehow outrank yours. I think you not cooking for anyone but your kid is a smart way to reaffirm this boundary. The entitlement being out of character, if I understood this comment correctly, does make me wonder if something else is wrong and she's not coping in a healthy manner, taking her issues out on you and the tilapia. Original poster replies. Yeah, I plan to talk to my father tonight and then both of them together afterwards. She may be in shock at how hard being a working mother is, saw him for 30 years. There's nothing I'm aware of that she's struggling with, but we don't have a great relationship, so it's hard to say if she'd share that information with me anyway. I'll be sure to ask. Thank you. If she hasn't worked before, yeah, it's going to be a shock. She was probably hangry. Give her some peanuts for the trip home from work. I am going to assume that hangry was not a typo, to add that actually low blood sugar levels, particularly in the late afternoon, are a known contributor to before dinner family arguments. It isn't a typo, it's an actual word that's used when someone is angry because of their hunger. I'm sure it'll come up when you Google that word. You've never heard the term hangry. It's just a portmanteau of hungry plus angry, just like smog, smoke plus fog, fugly, effing plus ugly, cosplay, costume play, dramedy, drama comedy, and so on and so forth. Ever see the Snickers commercials, you aren't you when you are hungry? Meaning that a lot of people get crafty when hungry, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's due to a medical condition. A friend of mine used to get really hangry. We were out for a meal once and there was a cock-up in the kitchen, which meant his meal would take 5 minutes longer than ours. When ours came out, he was genuinely pissed off that we wouldn't give him some food off our plates to tide him over until his arrived. He spent the 5 minutes grousing about how his meal wasn't there and how hungry he was, to us, not the servers, as is the British way. Hangry is a combination word of hungry, plus, angry. I think the other angle to use is just sharing the point about knowing your child was watching and that it was important not to send a mixed message. That, and noting that that policy for you made you, assuming it did, an adult with a well-rounded palate, and you are trying to establish that for your child as well. Not the butthole. Also, if this was her parenting philosophy with you, you can point out that she is a role model and you were just following her method. This is one of the unsung golden moments of adulthood. When your parents pull some crap under your own roof and you get to parrot a classic parenting line back at them, it feels so good. I like Original Poster's method of trying everything, but you can make something else if you don't like it. I don't know if the parents had the same rule. The age-old you eat it regardless if you like it or not rule doesn't lead to a well-rounded palate, but can lead to other issues. Tasting things is good, but people either have a broad taste or they don't, and forcing people to eat stuff doesn't make them like it more. Perhaps there is some underlying resentment about something else on her part that is coming out here? Maybe you need to sit down and have a conversation about what is really going on. Original Poster replies. Another commenter suggested the same, and I plan to do so. Thank you. Just a note, if this behavior is unusual for your mom, and it continues, it could be a symptom of a few different medical conditions. You may want to make notes on it and speak with your father about getting her medical attention if it continues. Why are you even cooking for them? Original Poster replies. To be nice. I imagine it would kind of suck to come home from work to a home-cooked meal that I couldn't eat, so I make extra when I'm able to cook. Usually the requests are simple too. Pasta is easy to mass produce. So are tacos and such. Not couldn't eat, wouldn't eat. Original Poster replies. You're right, but I was replying to the comment asking why I cooked for them. They couldn't eat if I didn't make enough for everyone, which would really suck coming home to in my opinion. Very fair though. She could have tried the tilapia. Chose not to. That's a good reason. Don't cook for them out of guilt or that you feel like you owe them anything. You don't. There was never any agreement you guys made about meals. I'd say that if this is out of the ordinary for her, she may want to go to a doctor. I'm not trying to fearmonger, of course, but if this isn't her typical behavior, I'd at least monitor it. I agree. Not the butthole. Having a talk with her explaining why you didn't want your kid to see you make her something different than everyone else and why that's important and all the other feels you're feeling and she's feeling will probably make everything better. That doesn't mean you need to apologize. Communication will help. You are not keeping the peace if you apologize. Precisely. Apologizing is acknowledging that you are in the wrong and showing remorse for said wrong. If original poster apologizes, her mom is likely going to see that as an admission of wrongdoing, because it kind of is. One thing you might want to do is point out to your dad that apologizing is acknowledging you're in the wrong. Then say something like, so let me make sure I'm understanding what you're asking of me here. You don't think I'm in the wrong, but you want me to acknowledge that I'm in the wrong? Pauses added for emphasis. Not the butthole. Is this the first time your mom has taken a nosedive into entitlement? I know you said it is new for her, but is it as new as the tilapia dilemma or have there been other things? Might not be a bad idea to say something like, hey mom, I've noticed you've been uncharacteristically demanding lately. Are you okay? Because this isn't normal for you. Not the butthole laughing out loud. Well, you're not wrong. My favorite is saying want in one hand and crap in the other. See which one fills up first. Lol, my dad used to say that to me. Original poster replies. That's a hilarious saying, smiley face. Interesting saying you have used. I know it as you get what you get and you don't get upset. Was expecting that and it threw me when you said fit. I'm just used to the rhyme I think, hungry face. I think it depends on how you pronounce words. Down in the southern US, where my experience comes from, most people pronounce get like git so it rhymes with fit, but if you pronounce the E in the supposedly proper manner, it rhymes with upset. That explains it. I was like, fit rhymes more than upset? Raised in North Carolina. Lol. I'm a Texas girl, born and raised, so I was confused for a second until I thought about accents outside of southern accents. I watched The Crown last night, which helped me realize lol. Same. That is brother's favorite dadism. I got that one, too. Specifically with my mom, if there was something I wanted and couldn't have, it would simply be met with, and people in hell want ice water. My boyfriend uses that line all the time lol. Goddamn if I didn't hear enough of that from my dad. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.